So you've been told that stress is bad for you, right? I'm here to tell you that it's not. And as a health coach and as a parent, I am very well aware of the effects of stress. And in fact, in my coaching practice, I teach my clients how to manage stress better. I give them stress management tools and strategies, but at the same time, I also help them to change the way they think about stress, because I think that's where most of us sort of are not aware of the fact that how we think about stress affects the how stress impacts us. And of course, chronic stress is harmful, but your response to the stress plays a huge role, much bigger than you think. And a different kind of stress response is available to you, and you can use that to transform the way you think about stress and use it as a source of strength and resiliency. So if you like what you hear in this video, do drop in a comment below and let me know what's changed for you the way you think about stress. So the first thing is that stress response actually has evolved over millions of years and has helped us survive as a species. So the thing is that it is primarily a response that helps to protect our offspring. And the kind of response that I'm talking about is something that you may or may not have heard about. Of course, all of us are very well aware of the fight or flight response in regards to stress, right? And that's something that usually is our default mode. That's something that we usually use. But if you can become more intentional about how you want to respond to stress, you can look at a tend and befriend response. And in fact, that is something that is at the core of a much more healthier stress response. And it's something that we do for our loved ones. We do it for our children. So think of a time when there was some kind of danger, or you can even think of people who have, sort of saved their lives of their loved ones and children, and even complete strangers without thinking about themselves, right? Their own lives. Why is that? It's because of this tend and befriend response, which goes far beyond, sort of thinking of saving our own skin, right? So this is the kind of response I'm talking about. Because the attention that you're paying to is care, comfort, and helping others, which is beyond your responsibility as well, right? Beyond what you think is your primary response to stress. And when you do that, because of evolution, because of the way we have evolved to survive as a species once again, we tend to feel better, right? When we actually connect to a cause which is beyond ourselves, bigger than self goals, for example, right? We tend to feel better in terms of being more hopeful, in terms of being inspired, in terms of whether it's feeling more grateful, right? So all the good stuff that we feel is usually connected to when we are doing stuff for others. And this is the reason why. And you can choose to accept this kind of a response, but only if you're, of course, aware of it. And that's why I'm bringing it to you today. And this is particularly useful when you are feeling overwhelmed. That is the time that you should be connecting with others and not escaping, trying to escape from the world, right? Because that's usually our primary response. Just escaping, the discomfort, the pain. Of course, that is there. You're not ignoring it, you're not neglecting it. But what you're trying to do is to show up in spite of it, right? So, and if you do it with an intention of helping and serving others, you find that you completely transform your stress response, and you find meaning in your suffering, and often it becomes a source of your strength. And I see this with my clients. I have seen it with myself. I have a client who is a student, and her name is Ananya, and so she was having health issues when she came to me, and we've been working on this, right? Honestly, she works in a very high stress, she studies in a very high stress environment, very competitive environment, and that has not changed for her. What changed for her is the way she is looking at stress now. She is not looking at it as an adversity or something that is bad, but she is changing the way she's responding to it, right? And as she has done that, while her competitive environment hasn't changed, while her stress situation hasn't changed. Nothing has changed, right? She's still a student. She's still in a very high stress environment in that term, but she's thriving, right? And that is simply because she's changed the way she looks at stress. And I want you to have that too. So again, coming back to the point that I'm making today is that stress is not bad. Of course, chronic stress can be harmful in the long run, but it's primarily the way you, sort of how you think about stress matters more, right? And if you choose to use connection rather than escape to deal with stress, you will find that you feel better. And that is, again, it is hardwired into us as a part of the natural evolutionary process to make our species survive, right, by protecting our offsprings. So by helping others, especially when you're feeling overwhelmed, right, and you're not sure what's going on in your life, just by helping others, you feel more hopeful, you feel calmer, you feel more grateful, more inspired, right? All the good stuff that comes into your life. So just change the way you look at stress, right? Approach it differently, and you will see that it'll make a lot of difference in your life. So if you're watching a replay of this, I would still like to hear from you. Drop in a comment below if it has changed the how it has changed the way you think about stress, right? I would love to hear from you, so please do share with me. I'll see you on Friday at 12 for my next live.